Naad classroom. Continuing from our last session, in this episode we will be discussing a little more on how the notes or the pitches are programmed into various instruments that are around us, and what exactly does C, D, E, F mean, and why is a C, D, E, F a saregama, and why there are so many saregamas. If we start from G, it's different. If we start from E, it's different. So if you remember, we discussed in our first episode the concept of Naad, the musically useful sound. जैसे संगीतोपयोगी ध्वनि को नाद कहते हैं. If you kind of define it, the musically useful sounds are what are called as naad. Now, when we talk in terms of that, in a particular range that we call a scale or a saptak or an octave, in that particular range, what we have is a set of 12 notes, which we discussed how 12 in our second episode. If you go deeper, in fact, there are actually, we say there are 22 shrutiyan hoti hai, which means 22 further, if you listen carefully or you have a better trained ear and you've trained for a longer time than a beginner level, then you can even hear a lot of other intonations between the basic 7 notes besides their 5 variants, which are the Vikrut Swar. So overall 22 distinctly audible sounds which are termed as shrutis. But we won't go to the shruti level today. Today we will be discussing on how that in this range, where exactly is a C, D, E, F, and what is also the concept of sharps and flats in more detail. A very easy way to understand the concept would be with the help of a key instrument, because it's just simply organized as a black and white set of notes. If you look at a keyboard carefully, you have alternating 2 and 3 keys. So we have a set of 2 keys, 3 keys, 2 keys, 3 keys, 2 keys, 3 keys, 2, 3, 2, 3. And that is the structure of any key instrument, whether it is an accordion or it's a keyboard or a harmonium, piano, while it's not a key, purely key instrument, but yeah, of course, since it's a key and percussion instrument, it follows the same structure of 2 blacks, 3 blacks. Every 2 black will have 3 whites around it. Every 3 black will have 4 whites around it. What happens underneath this, as in terms of the programming of these keys? Each of these different sounds are actually programmed to a set frequency. So to understand that, I'll again switch on that app which I had discussed in my first episode, a tuner app. You can download any general tuner and just play any random key. So in case you can see, it creates a stable frequency of a C, 4 here. Here you see an F4. And besides that, it's also giving a frequency number. Like for a C, ideally it is like somewhere around 261.6. So each of these keys that we are playing has a specific frequency programmed into the system. So when we say musical notes, as I said, there are 7 basic notes, which are like the A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So I generally, for convenience, I take one hand with A and B, and the other hand with the C, D, E, F, G. And in both the hands, I assume that the thumb is C. When we are looking at the keys, it's like an A, B, C, D, E, F, G. When kept in this order, the pitches for them doesn't sound like that of a major scale, like a la 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 la. This is sound of a major scale. But if you keep them in this order, as in this was my A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If I just take my A and B this side and read them in this order of a C, D, E, F, G, A, B and C, then in this particular order, the pitches, they sound like a la 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 la. So that's why they say that when you want to get a sound of a major scale, you start from a C, also because of some other reason. The other reason being, these pitches, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, they are programmed for the byte keys. Where exactly is a C on a keyboard? Since I said that all these are repeating in a pattern, everywhere you see two blacks. The white key just before the first of the two blacks is a C. So this is a C. This is a C. This is a C. I can't reach that. That's also a C. So you have all these are C's, and if you go in the order of the notes, then this is a C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and back to C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, back to C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, back to C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, back to C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Another interesting fact about these notes on the keys are, they call this a middle C. This is the key which has the frequency of a 261.6, approximately like a 262, and this key compared to this, if we compare, the frequency of this one is half of this. Exactly half from this C to this C. The frequency of this is exactly double of this, and so on and so forth. So that's about how C, D, E, F, G is placed on this set of keys. So look at any two black and just say the names in that order. Black keys then? That is the next question. So looking at the black keys are dependent on their white friends around them. So that's how the names of black keys go. If we look at any of the black keys here, so let's look at the set of two keys here, and the first black amongst them. This black key has two whites around, a C and a D. So this black key will have a dependent name, a name dependent on either the C or the D. Since this black key falls after the C, the name is a C sharp. And since this black key is before the D, its name is also a D flat. The way we write a sharp is we put a hashtag. And the way we write a flat is we put a little B. Looking at this key, if we have to write the name for this particular black key, it will be called as a C sharp or a D flat. If we repeat it in that same order, this black key becomes a C sharp or a D flat. The next black key, since it is after the D, it's called as a D sharp or an E flat. This key is after the F, so it is an F sharp or a G flat. Also to be noted here is there is no black key between E and F. So if either you can say that there is no E sharp or F flat, or you can say that that an E sharp is nothing but an F, or an F flat is nothing but an E. So this becomes an F sharp or a G flat. This is a G sharp or an A flat. This is an A sharp or a B flat. And similarly, what we discussed here, there is either you can say there is no B sharp or a C flat, or a B sharp is nothing but a C, or a C flat is nothing but a B. And we are back to the C sharp. I have a little dummy drawn here. So if I need to name or put a position marking here, as I said, the two black keys, they have a C before it. Between them is a D and then E after that. The three black keys, we have an F, G, followed by A, B, and back to C, D, and so on and so forth. The sharp and flat names for each of them would look like this. So we have, this can be also a C sharp or a D flat. The next key can be a D sharp or an E flat. We don't have anything here. And here we have something like an F sharp or a G flat. The next key is an A G sharp or an A flat. This one will become an A sharp or a B flat. Similarly, we don't have a B sharp or a C flat, and we are back to the same C sharp or D, so on and so forth. I have a manipulative here which I generally use with my younger students. So if you look at this chart, I hope it's visible. I have the CDEFs named, and I have some cards meant for representing the black keys. So if we kind of try to name the black positions, this C, this black key would be also a C sharp or a D flat, which comes between the C and D. The next one would be either a B sharp or an E flat. We don't have any black key between E and F. Going further, we have this black key, which can be an F sharp or also a G flat. The next black key becomes a G sharp or an A flat. The next one will be an A sharp B flat. Since there is no black key between B and C, that remains blank, and then we go back to the last key being the C sharp or a D flat, and so on and so forth. So you can call these notes by those names, and based on these names the scales are generated. So you can have the sound of a major scale which goes like, if I start from a C, it will be like la 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 la. So since I started it from the C position, and if you remember that hand interchange thing which I said, so if you start the sequence of notes instead of from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you start it like a C, D, E, F, G, A, B, it will sound like a major scale. So it's easier to kind of start teaching the sounds or playing the keys from the C position. That's why most of the teachers and trainers, they start teaching music playing with C as a beginner's scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, all the white keys. And that's what you can see here. And the black keys, C sharp, D flat, D sharp, E flat, F sharp, G flat, G sharp, E flat, E sharp, and B flat. So these, the set of these form one single octave, with each of these keys having their own specific frequencies, which keeps doubling into the next octave after that, or halving into the octaves before that. I hope this one was informative for you all, and wait for our next video where I'll talk about how the rule for major scale is applied to create the sounds which I've been talking of all this while. Have a nice day and thank you for watching.